Now, over the past few years, Kizer has been on an absolute tear with some of their compact fixed blades, especially sporting 3V steel. Like this mini harpoon, which is super thin and slicey, compact, great for pocket EDC, and its big brother, the BEGLEITER, which has a very straightforward, organic design, excellent for compact carry in the great outdoors, proving that they definitely have a finger on the pulse of what people look for in compact fixed blades. So here's where things get weird. This is the new Kizer bone, and to me, it looks more like an ancient artifact than a 21st century tool. I mean, when we look at its predecessors, the lines are clean, functional, and predictable, but the bone, it's radical in its profile with extreme finger grooves and geometry on the handle that are either gonna fit like a glove or have ergonomics only a caveman would love. So we know what they can do with 3V, and they're still able to deliver value. I paid less than $100 for this blade. But the real question is gonna be, have they just gone off the rails with too crazy and wild a design, or can this wild design deliver wild results? We're gonna find out today as we put it through its paces and run it up against its siblings. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for hanging with me today. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and have some fun. Now, normally I like to kick things off with some blade action to see how the knife performs, but because of how interesting, potentially prehistoric, and unique this handle is, we gotta see how it feels in the hand. This, I mean, the factory has geometry. I always tell you guys I don't change the geometry unless I tell you. So this is just factory. I mean, it's definitely getting those feather sticks done. Now I have to hold it like that. I don't think, I mean, I could do it with just a standard hammer grip, but it feels a little awkward. I wouldn't be doing that. Resting it right there in that valley. But that feels good, man. That air quotes bone geometry or whatever of the handle. I mean, you tell me, right? Boom, boom. Really good pinch cut right there and grip. That, hopefully you guys can see this. Here we go. I'm gonna try and give it to you. Pinching right around the neck. That gives me full grip on that handle. It's not creating any hot spot. Man, they really designed, the designer, I'm forgetting off, I think it's like Maverick, I think, off the top of my head. Really got that handle dialed in, I think. Here's what I'm really pleased to report. As somebody that wears large size gloves and has 3¼ inches of knuckle span right there, when I grip this tool, look at how much real estate is on the back end there. And I feel like it's part of my body. I do not feel that way with the harpoon. Because of this deep cut in right here, I love that kind of style. Reminds me of like old MacV SOG knives. That is where your thumb wants to just live. And it absolutely gives you like maximum grip right there. And here's what's gonna be crazy. When you look at the like designated choil, your finger has to go there. From edge to where the bird beak stops right there, which is where your actual grip point is, we're looking at 3.8 inches. So it's going to fit that hand with that real estate. But of all other two knives that we're looking at, this has actually the thickest neck. They are both going to be narrower than this neck right here. So that is a great thing. What about in a reverse grip? How does that feel and what does that give you? I got full grip right there, but I have no guard. The choil has to act as a guard. I just want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as long as you got your thumb resting right there and making sure that you're not doing this, you should be all right to use in a reverse piercing grip if you had to. And as we're touching on that, they've even ground at an angle this edge right here. So, I mean, I'm not nicking myself. You're not going to nick yourself if you're gripping right there, which is really cool. A lot of them, you know, they sharpen it right to the edge and then you end up biting your finger, your index a lot. So even though this is a compact blade, even though it's a very unique profile, the idea of having it sized properly is executed with this bone design, And that applies as well for your timepieces, and that's where the sponsor of today's video comes into play, which is VAER watches. Now, VAER is a watch company that was founded right here in the USA and has been making a lot of waves in the last few years. I've been wearing their tactical field watches on all kinds of adventures and excursions for over a year now, and when they released the S5 in 42 millimeter size, I was stoked. This model right here fits perfectly for my wrist, and it performs because the Japanese quartz movement is housed in a 316 stainless steel body. It uses a sapphire crystal face, which is scratch resistant. I've literally run blades across the face of these watches and just shrugs it right off. Then you get a screw down crown, so that makes it a lot more capable in water, and they have their waterproof warranty, and it will come with 2 quick change wristbands. And this is just their introductory watch. They have many models that are assembled by their American workforce right here in the USA using solar power, automatic power, and so many different designs, from dive watches, more luxury designs, or straightforward field watches. And with Father's Day right around the corner, this is the perfect time to get an epic timepiece for your dad or that father figure in your life. So I have a link popping up. It's in the description box below as well. If you subscribe to their newsletter, you get 10% off your first purchase. So I encourage you guys to check them out so that you can stay on time for all of your adventures. Now, regardless of the steel choice you choose, from handle to tip, you're looking at 3¼ inches long. The actual cutting edge is 3 inches even. Get some water pipe. Give me what I need. Yeah, dude. That's a really tough cut. A lot of fixed blades just can't do it because they're too thick behind the edge, but that can do it. That's good to see. And I think a lot of people, you know, I mean, if you're carrying a fixed blade, you're probably using your knife pretty hard and you don't like having a pocket knife like folder to either get gunked up and you find yourself like having to clean out your pocket knives, or you're just like, dude, I need maximum durability and I just don't want to think about the possibility of my knife collapsing on me. So being able to go through certain types of tasks, if you're, sorry, I just didn't push hard enough. There we go. Boom. When I'm doing this type of like push cut, boom, and holding it kind of in a, I don't know, a caping, a draw cut, you know, grip, that, snag that from Home Depot. Okay, so that was about a pass and a half, let's see. Yeah, that's good, just straight push cut. Nice. And you're looking at an 1/8 of an inch thick with a 2/3 high saber grind. Nice. Oh, heck yeah. Tip geometry is great. It's not like super thin. It's not paper thin. They gave it a little bit of robustness. I like that. I'm digging it. Now, when it comes to the 3V version, it is sporting a matte DLC Ultra finish that is holding up really well, but shows a little bit of wear. So I really like that. You know, it gives it this kind of like Boba Fett armor, you know, like wear to it. And then this is having a claimed HRC of 61 to 62.5, so definitely on the higher end of the scale, but we've been seeing more companies doing that since the new protocols have been released for how to properly harden, or the ability to have hardness for 3V. So I'm seeing good wear resistance on this particular version. But because of that higher claimed hardness, is it not as durable? I mean, this is where a lot of my batoning comes into play. Is I'm just shaping down little pieces that are already processed, but getting them into, you know, pencil to Sharpie diameter. All right, we're gonna test this 3V here. Now, 3V is known for being super tough. I've never had any problems with any of Kizer's other 3Vs. I know I've heard some people complain sometimes that it doesn't hold his edge as well as maybe like American, like manufactured 3V, like you know, like an American company is doing it. I haven't been disappointed with my models. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Hit or miss heat treats, but I mean, this one is good. No waves, no issues. That's nice. Now, as I alluded to earlier, Kizer is still able to deliver 3V fixed blades under 100 bucks. Now it's just barely under 100. I paid, I think, $95 for this about a month ago. And that is made possible in part by our Patreon members. We have a Gideonstactical Patreon page. I'll try and link it here. It's in the description box. Because of their support, I'm able to go out, buy blades like this, and then show you guys what they're capable of and what they're able to do. And when you join over there, you get weekly exclusive content that you're not going to see anywhere else, like behind the scenes stuff, you know, unboxings, things, you know, before they ever make it to YouTube. And we just have a really cool community over there. You get ad-free content, lots of stuff like that. So if you're interested, I do invite you to join and become part of the GT crew over there on Patreon. Now, when we look at that compared to the 3V BEGLEITER previously reviewed, and I'll try and be linking and tagging everything, that's like 90, so really close. You know, it's a little bit of a larger blade overall. And then the HARPOON, mini HARPOON, excuse me, in 3V is still 60 bucks, which is mind-blowing. So you are going to be paying the most for this model. Now, there are more cost-effective ways to get your hands on all three of these models. I know they have AEBL for all three. I think there's D2 variants, things like that. I know the AEBL was like $55 for the bone model, so that's just something to kind of consider. I will have links popping up and in the description box below over to Knife Center, Blade HQ, my Amazon store. All those affiliates, always appreciate it if one of these models makes sense. You want to dive in and pick one up. Always appreciate when you use those affiliate links. Now, I prefer the 3V. I've used it now on 3 of Kizer's variants. It works well for me. It would do everything that a sub $100 3V blade I would expect out of. And it's just kind of a steel I gravitate to, but obviously there are more cost-effective options if you want to go with something else. Now let's address the sheath and answer the question, is this pocket carryable, and how does it compare to maybe the mini HARPOON? Now I feel like Kizer is really up in their game. You know, their sheaths haven't been bad, but this model I think is probably the best of any that I have tested. What we get is Kydex is a pancake with a carbon fiber look. Now it is silent and has good tension, and that is partly due to one of the big add-ons, a tension screw. Now, if I want to carry this on my shoulder strap, say hiking upside down, I can tighten it down, have a really good lockout. But if I'm carrying it, say, in my front pocket, and I just want really quick, you know, barely any tension, I can back it off, and I have that option. It's just a little touch, a little detail, though, that really does help. Now, it comes with this kind of mini blade tech lock, so that it'll go on a belt, easy, quick release, adjustable. Now, if we look at the mini HARPOON, you know, I put a 3.3 ulti-clip on there to make it pocket carryable. That will absolutely, you know, work for this. So I'll try and pop it up or link it or whatever, have it in the description. But here's what I found to be pretty cool. Even though the bone is definitely an overall bigger blade, you can see here, we have only about maybe 2/3 of an inch more profile in the pocket. So even though it's pancake, it's so slim, it's going to basically disappear. Told you, already put the ulti clip on, had to go run some errands, and that's been my EDC today. Digging it. And that's honestly where it sits, guys. It has replaced the mini HARPOON for my EDC pocket carry. Better handle ergonomics for me, and just a better geometry that I prefer. Again, nothing wrong with the HARPOON, mini HARPOON, but this is just better. It's better. Now, for outdoor use, wouldn't be taking the bone on outdoor use. That is where the BEGLEITER is the better option. So if you're doing a lot of outdoor stuff, stick with that, because this is only going to be, the bone only works in like the standard hammer grip, doesn't give you a lot of grip options. So there it is, guys. Hope the video has been fun, entertaining. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate your time today. Check out the other video, subscribe, and always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.